There's no wrong way to plug a chicken. I got a niche. Single family, homes, multi-family, whatever you want to call it, and I rent it by the door. So if that house got 5 bedrooms in it, and the dining room is about to be 6. I made $8,000. He said, we went through the closing process. He said, do you want me to pay you cash? Do you want to do the check at the table? I said, man, I don't care how you pay me. Walked out to the bank, handed me $8,000 at $100 with the most money I ever had in my life. I was shaking.
So many different people that have been successful, nobody talks about those moments where, I didn't know if it was gonna work. I was scared of shit to even hold the money because I never held that much money before. I think so many people are scared right now to make money.
I got money on my mind, I'm just trying to get some dough. I ain't picking up my line unless it's money on the phone. Gotta get it on the daily, all I want is dubs, you know what I'm on. I've been chasing after paper, all I know is run money marathons. I got money on my mind, I'm just trying to get some dough. I ain't picking up my line unless it's money on the phone. Gotta get it on the daily, all I want is dubs, you know what I'm on. I've been chasing after paper, all I know is run money marathons.
And we back with another episode of the Digital Billionaires Club Podcast, where we interview real guests in real time and have real conversations. And I'm here with the beautiful
Daydream, your trends coach.
And today we have a very special guest. And I need to read this bio because I need to get it right.
Hey.
Okay, so he helps people get you funding. Whatever you need in business funding, personal funding, he got you. He does credit education, funding expert, 7 figures in real estate in his portfolio, and we're going to get to that. Public speaker and consultant. I got my guy, Lee Patterson, everybody. Talk to me.
What's up? Thank y'all for having me.
Appreciate you for coming out, bro.
Yeah.
So look, man, a little bit, before we get into a little bit about us, like we call the information extractors, right? So our job is to get the information out of you to give back to us and the people. So your job is to get us wealthy today. You get what I'm saying?
Where we start?
All right, so before we get started, man, I like to vet my people in the show. You know, I like to know where they come from. Yeah. You know, so talk about your journey, bro. How'd you get started in this whole funding journey?
Man, a little bit about me. I'm from Longview, Texas originally. Left Texas because I wanted to get away. Everybody in Texas got the same story. They usually go to UT. They usually go to Dallas, Houston. You know, and so ended up getting a scholarship to Georgia. Ended up running track. So I tell people I ran my way out of Texas.
What'd you run?
Ran 800.
Okay, you was long. Okay, let's do it.
But now it was called middle distance back then. Now it's called a long sprint because them boys getting to it. You hear me? They getting to it. And so got to Georgia, man, and I came from a background of entrepreneurs when my grandma sold snow cones and sold candy, all that cool stuff. I don't know how old y'all are, but I'm in my 40s, mid 40s. So it was old school back then, and then we had a family restaurant. Still do, actually. It's about 40 years. I think they just celebrated 40 years of soul food.
That's amazing.
Yep, soul food in East Texas.
What's the name of the company?
It's called Bill. Mine or the restaurant Bill's Diner. Diner in Longview, Texas. Yeah. Check them out.
Yeah.
So I got to Georgia, man. Did my running thing. You know, we all wish to go pro, but it's really hard to go pro running, right? Plus, I didn't think that was the fun gig to do, right? That's only cool if you run 100, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's all everybody want to see.
That's a fact.
And so I graduated, man. Had to figure out what I was gonna do. Like most people, he's like, man, all right, gotta do something. Yeah. So I was a trainer, did a little physical therapy with the back and neck and whatnot, and had to. It was funny because I like help. I knew I liked helping people.
Okay.
I know I got the job because I was athletic, young, and I knew the body and I knew how to get people in shape fast, all that good stuff. But you know what's funny? Like my clients would tell me this is not where you're supposed to be. More than one occasion, like when was that supposed to be? I'm good. I got pretty much everything I want, except the freedom. But I was comfortable. You know what I mean? Then I started realizing, like, you know what? I ain't that free. Like, I got to get permission to go on vacation. Got to get permission to come in late. Got to come in permission, or got to call in and say, hey, I'm not feeling good today. I can't make it. Right. I mean, it probably sounds crazy, especially to people who work 9 to 5, so no disrespect. But that wasn't for me. You know, so kind of like I said, I had an opportunity presented itself. to me where I was able to go into the restaurant business. How ironic was that? Because when I left Longview, I promise y'all, like, I ain't doing that.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll be an entrepreneur, but I ain't going to do that. But I had an opportunity to be a franchisee, and I saw the model, and I loved it. And it was a chicken business with Zaxby's. And I was just like, I kind of just had to do it. I like, man, this is cool from like a selfish standpoint. Like, man, I don't know nobody else that got do this, you know what I mean? And like, I knew it would impress my family, you know what I'm saying? And it was just something that I knew I could dominate. You know, like I think I'm a leader of people. I really do, and a teacher of people. I actually coach now on the high school level and little kids. And so I just knew that was in me. My faith was a big part of my journey, where I was able to just, I don't know. You know how when God calls you something, I don't care what nobody say. You can't, you know, like you're not gonna talk to me, whatever, man. Like we can agree to disagree, but this is where I'm at. I know what He has done for me, or I know what He has told me, because I did a lot of dumb stuff, and so I know when stuff is clear to me because I tried it my way. And so jumped into the food business. We killed it. Bought a bunch of restaurants. Took over some restaurants in Arkansas. And turned those around. Then I was able to come back to Georgia, and we had to turn these restaurants around that we had here in Georgia. And I was like, man, this is not the life for me. It was still like,
so you became the restaurant king and was like,
man, yeah, because you make good money, but man, you ain't got no life.
Got you.
And you know, I still like to run. I still like to go watch Georgia play on Saturday. You know what I'm saying? I still like to go watch my Cowboys on Sunday.
Your time back.
Yeah, you know, and so I had to figure it out. But also in the process, I learned that being a franchisee in a food restaurant ain't about the food. It's about the real estate. And if you know anything about McDonald's, y'all know that. You know, y'all seen the founder. I don't know if y'all seen it. Like,
sure.
But I was like, man, wow.
But can you explain that? Because I think it goes over a lot of people's head when somebody says it's not about the food, it's about the real estate. Break that down. What exactly does that mean?
So when you become a franchisee, you supposed to buy the land first. It's a separate entity. We actually put that into another whole LLC. When you do a franchise, you basically pay a licensing fee, and they give you rights to that restaurant or that brand. And so you take that franchise and put it on your land that you own. So the value of everything is in that land, because the land is going to appreciate a lot faster than that building. However, if you pick the right franchisee or franchise, it should be able to pay that off relatively quickly while you're able to make a living and help other people, right? And so, which is why McDonald's is the biggest landowner in the world, right? Mm-hmm. So that's what the whole founder was about. So I saw that. I'm like, man, this is crazy, because I had a buddy. He like, been in this thing about 20 years, and my land is paid for. And he was basically paying himself. Well, he was paying the mortgage on that land, which was like $14K. Because, you know, land ain't cheap. Yeah, for sure. You know, especially prime locations on a corner. Mm-hmm. Just go look it up. You ever get bored, go look it up and see how much land is, just for kicks and giggles. So when he finished paying it off, he was then paying himself, right? All through the power of selling some chicken on that property. Even if he quit selling chicken and let the franchise go away, no loss, because he's made his money, paid the land off, then he can rent the building to somebody else.
And put them on.
No matter who on that joint.
No matter who on that joint. And so I was like, golly, I don't want to do chicken, but man, what else can I do? Ding, house. I also knew that most billionaires had real estate in their portfolio. I ain't the smartest man in the world, but I damn sure can listen. You know, and I can pay attention. I can try to implement just a little bit of whatever it is they did. And so I was fortunate enough to have people in my life through the restaurant business that gave me an opportunity to kind of molded me and showed me the steps. And then same thing in the real estate. I had a teammate who was in this space. Was killing it. And I liked the way he was living, because he had time to run with me and then go about his day and do his business, take his kids to school, you know what I'm saying, pick them up, go look for other property, just kind of control his life. And I was like, yo, that's more like it. Yeah, I'm with that. And so we would run every day, and I tell people I learned real estate 70% through just asking him questions. As we run 7 miles every day.
That's amazing.
But let me ask you a question though. So, you know, real estate's a hot topic, bro. Like, I mean, you see all these people online. Everybody's a guru of real estate, right? You hear so many plays, so many different ways to, you should be going in this real estate or you should be wholesale, whatever the case may be, bro. What is the right answer? Like, the people want to know what is the correct way to go into real estate.
Right.
So if there is a correct way.
There's no wrong way to plug a chicken. I got a niche. My niche is single family homes, multifamily, whatever you want to call it, and I rent it by the door.
Well, you said the door.
By the door. So if that house got 5 bedrooms in it, and the dining room, it's about to be 6. You know what I'm saying?
Got 6 doors.
It's about to be 6 doors. You know what I mean? You'll catch on to that in a minute. But I rent it by the door because I'm in a college town. I started in a college town because that's where I reside when I was in college, and when I decided not to move out. Like a lot of people move to the big city. I'm like, why am I moving? I ain't got a job, promised there, and everything goes up in the city. I'm like, man, you got to pay for parking? You ain't got to pay for parking in the country. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I stayed there, and once I realized, like, okay, what's the name? The students are paying, back then they were paying $600-700 a bed. I had a 5-bedroom. If I was going to rent it out, somebody might would have paid, back then, 2017, might would have paid $1,200. That was a good bit amount of money.
Sure.
Well, I rented the rooms out separately, and I got $2,000. You know what I'm saying? So I was like,
okay,
this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do. Right? And like, it was a little bit of a headache at first, but because I had to figure out how to write the separate leases. What if somebody don't pay? How do I evict them without messing up the structure of the whole house? Because they're friends. They might know each other.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because you can kick everybody out, or you can kick that one person. I don't want to mess up all my money. I ain't stupid.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so that's what I mean when I say I got into it and I learned to rent by the door. Because when I asked him, I was like, you know, everybody wants to know how many houses you got. Man, look. If I had a house and it had 100 doors in it, I don't care. That's why everybody wants to do multifamily, because it's really one big house in one spot. It just makes it easier. That's all it is.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So if you can't afford a multifamily, aka 10, 15, 20, 30 units, or 6, or a quad, or a duplex, right? Then get the biggest house you can get and rent it by the room.
Now,
right, so these are like housing hacks, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because, and I get into it a little deeper. I mean, you can get your FHA loan, you can buy up to a 4-plex, right? It's really hard to find, but if you can do it. Stay in one, of the units, and rent the other 3 out, which pays for every, you know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of different ways, but I don't even think I'm smart to even find a 4-plex. I don't even think I even knew what a 4-plex was. But I knew what a 5-bedroom was, and that, man, my head was spinning, bro. I mean, the 5th bedroom was a basement. It was a basement, and so I said, I'm gonna put it on the internet and see if somebody rent it. And then again, somebody rented it, and they literally had to walk upstairs and walk down there 2 miles to get to the bathroom, right? Because it was just kind of in the middle of a house. And so, but they did have their own separate entrance or whatnot. I had to put like a window unit in it, but hey, it was $400 extra a month. Then I went up to $425. I'm like, man, they still paying? You know what I mean? Like this, hey, look. People complicated, so y'all ask, how do you get in this thing? Sometimes it depends on the niche. What are you good at? What do you see yourself being successful at? Where you're located? It's a lot of different things. I came in, back up. I came in at wholesaling, right? Okay. I didn't have any money.
Okay, that was your first thing.
So how do I get in? Oh, you ever heard of this method called wholesaling? No. Tell me about it. Well, you can do this, this, and this, and this. Pay $5,000 for the course. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's ride. You know, and so I get the course. I implement these strategies. Scared to death. Got something on the contract. And I'll never forget, lady stuck something in my mailbox. She's a realtor. And I'm like, well, let me call a realtor. They probably can help me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It might sound stupid, but I was too cool to be stupid. I was too broke to be not stupid and ask.
Right.
And so I literally called and said, hey, Miss Stella. I remember exactly who it was to this day. Hey, this is Lee Patterson. I got a house over here on Rock Spring. You think you know somebody who want to buy it? Oh, I know a dude buying everything over there. Can you hook me up with him? I remember the price. I told him, man, $218. He came back at $212. I said, deal. I had it on the contract for $2. Hey, I didn't even count her. I was so excited and so nervous and just thought, and I made $8,000. He said, you wanna? We went through the closing process. He said, do you want me to pay you cash? Do you want do the check at the table. I said, man, I don't care how you pay me. And he said, all right, just follow me to the bank. Walked out to the bank, handed me $8,000 in hundreds. It was the most money I ever had in my hand in my life. I was shaking.
Oh my God.
With my doors locked, because I thought somebody gonna come in and mess with me, bro. I'm sitting there just flicking through this money. And then, of course, I like, gotta go to the bank, gotta deposit it, because I wasn't about to sit, you know.
Yeah, of course.
With it. But you know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
I got this thing to it. So then I realized, after about 3 or 4 wholesale deals, I'm giving away all the good money. I thought I was making all the money.
Before you go into that, we gotta stop, because the most valuable thing you just said was you were scared. Yeah. A lot of people are never going to admit they're scared. I've talked to so many different people that have been successful. Nobody talks about those moments where, man, I didn't know if it was going to work. I was scared of shit to even hold the money, because I never held that much money before. Yeah. I think so many people are scared right now to make money because they never had it. So they don't know what it feels like. They don't even think, some people, bro, don't even think that they belong, they're supposed to have money.
Right.
Some people feel like they're supposed to be broke.
Right.
They don't deserve it. Mm-hmm. And by you saying that, bro, it's just a powerful moment, I think, because most people are scared and they don't know anybody else that's scared, because ain't nobody talking about it. Everybody flashing shit on social media that they renting, but they not really exposing the truth.
Mm-hmm. Man, look, I was scared, but I was too broke not to do something about it.
100%.
You know, and so, and I tell people, like, all this is a risk.
Right.
What does risk look like? Me talking to you right now? I wouldn't be here right now talking to you if I didn't take that risk. I wouldn't be able to be on a jet, come down here to be able to have opportunities to speak with you in Miami on Memorial Day. Who does that?
For sure.
You know what I mean? like, you know, and so look, man, I truly believe I was blessed to be a blessing. So for me not to sit on a podcast and give an hour of my time to talk to your audience, I feel like I would be doing a disservice. To give game, even if it doesn't make me $1.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Because somebody told me something. I mean, I can go through a lot of stuff that kept clicking, kept firing me up. Like, okay, boom, real estate, boom, okay, buy a house, boom. How do I do that? Go to the bank, talk to him. You know, that was scary. Just going in like,
taking that
I want to buy a house, and I have no idea where to start. And the guy, bless his heart, was nice enough to tell me a checklist of everything he needed from me. I'm good at checklists, bro. Just don't tell me. Give me a checklist. I can check off the list.
Yeah,
because I might forget it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So, okay. Let's switch a little bit. Let's talk about funding, for example, right? And let's go to this credit thing, because, you know, wifey been in the credit space for a while now.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of things that we deal with in the credit space, because people just, first of all, people think that credit just happens overnight, number one, right? And then other people think that it's fake. Like, people think that fixing your credit up is a fake thing. Like, it's not possible for them.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that? Do you deal with that?
Yeah, everybody, it's just taboo, especially in the black community. It breaks my heart.
I think it's definitely our community for sure.
I had to break a lot of the false narratives I had in my mind. Credit cards are bad. Cut your credit card up if you miraculously are able to pay it off one day. Well, you know, like I know, you don't close a credit card account because that's a bad thing.
For sure.
Credit is great. I spoke earlier and I was like, you know, if you don't learn how to leverage credit, you will work for somebody who does.
And that's the part.
And that's all I think about when people want to work for me. I'm like, you know, you can do this too. But they don't want to learn to leverage the credit because it's either some impossible far out fetch thing or you got luckily. No. I got sick and tired of being sick and tired and decided to be disciplined enough to fix my credit, keep it fixed, and learn all the other little nuances that it take to be funding that we might get into in this call. You know what I'm saying? Because you are in control of your credit. You might not be in control of nothing else. Yeah. You are in control of your credit, and all credit can be fixed no matter what. Almost the worse it is, the easier it is to fix, believe it or not.
Yo, ain't that the truth? Yo, that's a good one. That's true.
Really
because I'm like, please tell me this in collections, please. You know what I'm saying? Because I already know it's signed, sealed, right? Because the collection don't have a contract with you.
Yeah, they don't got a grant.
So that's easy. You know what I'm saying? So they be like, really? Because I have somebody go, yeah, I just made a payment. God, why'd you do that?
Now you know what I'm saying? Started all over again.
Yeah, now I start all over again. And they like, wait, I thought I was supposed to pay it all. Yes. Like, man, they bully you. But that's here and now. But that's part of my passion because I thought you couldn't fix it either. It was my credit was about 6 something, but it was more or less low because I was young.
Okay.
Versus bad stuff. Because I had enough sense to pay on time. And not to borrow money that I couldn't pay back. Because I don't want to be looking on my back.
Yeah.
But it's also a reason why I tell people to get credit cards because the Amex ain't going to call you. They just going to freeze your stuff and they handle it a different way versus me borrowing from you. And I'm looking on my back like, man, shit, man, he's going to come over here acting crazy. I can't even go through town. He might pull up on me.
Yeah,
you know, Amex Discover ain't going to pull up on you. You know, they handle things in a different way that don't scare most people. Right. You know what I'm saying? And
I think most banks though, like they want banks. They want to give you money because they make money off of you making more money.
It's not the other way around. Yeah. Most people think, oh no, they don't want to. No, they want to give you money.
Which goes into the whole thing. And my step in there is I teach you how to structure your business structure properly because the banks are looking for a reason not to give you the money. They want to give it to you, but we have to make sure we don't give them a reason not to. Meaning, we can't sound desperate. We can't go in there unprepared.
Okay, all right, remember you just said checklist, right? You said checklist earlier.
Checklist. What's
so
that checklist?
Can we get a checklist?
Yeah.
You ain't got to go too crazy.
No. I literally get a checklist away for free in my free community.
Let's do it. So let's go over the checklist. Okay, I don't know anything. I wanna make my business structured the right way, right? And I want to go into the bank and I want to eventually get some money. Walk me through my perfect checklist.
So I'm gonna read exactly.
Do your thing. Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna read exactly.
Be a surgeon with it.
The checklist because I like to come in with facts. So number one, you gotta have a credit score of 700 or higher, or make at least 10,000 a month, right? Because now they know because they basically they can see this in the bank. They know they can give you that credit card for that, right? And a minimum of 2 credit cards that have been open for at least 6 months, minimum 2,000 and 2,500.
Okay.
Because now they want to see somebody else took a chance on you, or you can get credit somewhere else and not with just them, right? Because a lot of people don't understand when I read this to them. Number 3 is the most everybody know: no collection, no late payments, no bankruptcies the last 2 years, blah blah blah, right? Or just late payments in the last 2 years. The rest of them you don't want to see it at all. Number 4, utilization must be under 25%. It's really 30, but we say 25 to be on the safe side, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And 10 is the best, right? And I even tell people look, bro, it don't have to be 0. They want to see you using it, so it needs to be something on there. And so, and last but not least, 2 increase or less. I like to say 0, like you know what I'm saying. At least I say 0 in the last 6 months. Right, because after 6 months it don't matter, right? So I like to say that, but I put 2 to 5 increase in each bureau and Equifax, Experian, TransUnion, because a lot of people still don't even know. And you ask a common person what's the 3 bureaus. They might say,
like, I got a 700 score.
They might say credit card.
I think you took the words out of my mouth. Because when everybody's saying, let me go my credit karma, like, you do realize credit karma is just
advantage.
It's just a Vantage score. Like, come on, we gotta get bit. We're gonna learn today, all right? Join a community. You know what I mean? Like, so again, these are just the basic things, my guy, and this is why even people who come to me for funding, how are you so sure? How are you gonna say you can get me funded $50K or $100K? I'm like, well, I can just pull out the platinum card and show you that it ain't even got a limit. We can just start. I mean, what do you want me to do? You know what I'm saying? But I said we have these banking reps who they know that if we send you to them. We've already went down the checklist.
You verified.
Yeah, you verified. So they are going to push applications through. They are going to do the underwriting, push it through, do what we need to do, and they can request higher limits, all these things. This is the advantage of working with us.
So for people that are in the funding space, how do you develop relationships with the bankers?
That's a great question. We got it down to a science now where we can just send you to the VAs. The VAs handle all that. Okay. But let's say if you want to start your funding company, we have a script for you. Walk your little happy self in the bank and act like you got some sense, right? Mm-hmm. Dress the part.
Dress the nice,
right?
Yep.
And we give you a script of what to say. Because they know, like, when I go in the bank, they like, especially like, I mean, when I first started doing this and went into hey, can I speak to the business banking manager? That's me. I have a word with you. I want to discuss some business, and they tell you how you become a private client and all that stuff. I'm like, hey, is the 5 and 24 still in effect? And they look at you like,
That's to a chase.
yeah.
Okay.
Huh? Yeah, the 5 and 24, like, or you gonna still only get 5, credit cards in 24 months.
24 months, yeah.
And they look at you like, how'd you know that? I don't know. It's on the internet. You know what I mean? But you know what I'm saying? But people don't come in there and talk. So when you talk to them, they understand that you already understand what is going on. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you can quote the checklist. You know what I'm saying? So again, going in, being educated on their product, number one, being educated on how credit works, and number three, not seeming desperate. They smell desperate.
You said that twice. Can you explain what that means? Like somebody walking in and being desperate.
Just walking in like, hey, what do y'all got? Just really kind of pushy. Chill. Like, in matter of fact, y'all.
You got it.
Like, yeah, right. You already got it. So there's a before I really got good at this, you had the reconsideration line, cause you fill that out online. I'm like, oh man, they don't deny me. Okay, call the reconsideration line. Boom, you approve. Now I ain't go through that. I go through the reps, and the reps have a better chance of getting it pushed through. You ain't got to worry about the reconsideration line. But this is obviously when you're funding yourself on your own. And so, man, people don't believe. I'm like, man, I get a credit card every 6 months because I know I can, because I know the increase fell off. You know what I'm saying? No matter where it pulled from. And it also depends on what kind of real estate I'm going after. What 0% cars are out. I always want the free money, but with balance transfer, they almost make it too easy. That's why I tell people, like, if you learn this, it is a unlimited well of money that you need to have, that has to be used responsibly.
Yeah.
Right.
So I always have to tell people, and I told them how you can do it for 3 years, up to 3 years, for free, or just free money.
Okay.
At 0%. Just
Up
by
3
going
years, 0%.
just going through the tiers, the 3 tiers of banks, like I like to call it. You got your Bank of America's, I guess Bank of America, they're pretty big. Chase, Amex, all them. Then you go down to the regional banks, Wells Fargo, Regions Bank, maybe Key Bank, some of these regional banks.
United.
And then you got the 3rd tier. That's your Miami Credit Union. And so what we keep doing, we just keep transferring it down. So we get down to Miami Credit Union. Well, man, I ain't got this money. I ain't probably gonna have it. All you did is sever your relationship with them and not the big dog. So now I just go back, because remember, your business credit doesn't affect your personal score.
Right.
So a lot of people miss that. Because they're like, well, I can get more money in personal. Yeah, that's what they want you to do. They show that you don't know what you're doing. Because as soon as you run it up, your credit score plummets. And now they know you can't get no more money.
Exactly.
I run that thing up on the business side.
You do it all day long.
Get more money.
Get more money. And so people get mad at Trump because the way he would do things in business, he didn't make the law. He didn't make the rules up.
But he's showing you.
But he's showing you that he knows the rules. Or he's paid somebody who's telling him the rules.
I mean, his taxes should have showed us something.
Yeah.
Yes.
We should have looked like,
Yes.
And the funny thing is, people got upset versus getting upset with themselves for not knowing. You get what I'm saying? It's like, yo, if he could do, he's a regular United States citizen.
don't
Like,
get
bro,
mad
we
at
all
him.
can get the information.
Learn.
Correct.
But we don't seek the information.
Yeah.
So I got a big one for you. So no doc funding, right? So people, listen,
Here we go.
it's so many people that say no doc funding, no doc funding. You can come to the bank, you walk in the bank, sign your name, and it'll give you $1 million. Like, listen.
Yeah.
Can you
100,000.
demystify? Is the word demystify? Can you demystify what is no doc funding?
No doc funding.
And does it exist?
Yeah, it's basically where all these things I just told you with your personal score guarantees, like a PG.
Got you.
You know what I mean? And like, don't get me wrong, if you put the wrong stuff on your financials, they're going to do a financial review, which is the last thing you want, which ends up being documentation.
Correct.
Got you.
And so this is why it's important that you have somebody to tell you how to walk your way through these applications, because there are certain things. That's why I can give away the game, because there's something that you're going to need to know. Like, I can give away a lot of game, but you can still make a mistake. Like, there's people who are like, I got an 850 score. Well, guess what? If you got more than 2 or 3 inquiries or 4 or 5 inquiries on a certain, they gonna deny you. If your utilization is over 30%, they will deny you.
Or if you only have 2 cards,
Yes.
850, that's not enough. It's
Not enough.
We know people with 800 score that can't get $2,000.
Correct. So
Yeah.
I always stress this: the overall built out structure of your profile, and then until you get that, you'll be spinning your wheels. you know. And again, that's where the education comes from. You got to, I don't know. It's like second nature. We got to build out your business profile. You got to build out your business profile. What does that mean? It's a whole lot of stuff. You pay that score. You can't have your home address. They kind of change
the basics.
Yeah. You gotta have the basics. Like, you don't
know.
even really have to have a 1-800 number no more. But again, if you do, you got so much access to so many resources. Because people are like, well, I don't want a credit card. I just want a line of credit. Well, don't we all? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so every bank does not offer that. We have to go where places where they offer those certain products. Yeah. And we can look them up. It's easy. And like we can find that.
Right.
I'm not sure they're probably not going to offer it at 0%. But that's why we go out of 0% card, because I can show you how to pull that cash off without doing a cash advance. So that's a whole nother tactic. So again, you're paying for simplification, speed, and accuracy.
So in your line of business, do you see people that have no action plan when they ask for money? So people are like, yo, Lee, man.
Yeah, once they get the money, what do they do with it?
I need $150,000, bro. But
yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I don't even. I try to stay away from that.
So you stay away from people that have no game plan?
Because I don't know how true this is, but I've heard a lot of people messing up the chase play. Just like they ran the Navy Federal into the ground.
And that's the
they
one
commit
that
robbery,
we were
pretty much
talking
what you're
about
saying.
earlier.
You rob Chase, rob Navy Fed.
We know some people that did that. They did the Navy and got the auto and paid the Navy credit cards with the auto from the same account. So I don't know how that happens.
You're right.
And then now I'm just waiting to hear back when that 18% hits. Did you flip it? What do you do with it? And then he's like, you can't care what they're going to do with it. You got to just show them how to get to the money, and then that's it. And I'm
that's what you have the education for. I think, when most people have, when you have a community, your job as a consumer is to follow the education, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not your mom, I'm not your dad. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But we can help you as best we can. But most people, what I realize is most people don't really have a true game plan, even when they think it's a game plan. Because to actually start a business, some people want money, but they never made no money. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people, I'll be like, yo, first make some money. Even just get a flow of cash coming in. It ain't got to be a lot, but start making profit, something. Because if you take money and you amplify profit, you're going to make more profit. But if you're always in a deficit, you're always losing money, more money ain't going to solve your problem.
And that's why I tell people, don't quit your 9 to 5 too fast.
That's a good one.
Don't quit your 9 to 5. You got at least until you double it. I sometimes say triple it. Just to make sure, because you have to have a plan. So, which is why I have named my academy Credit to Real Estate. But we'll fund anything, right? We'll fund anything. But in a lot of my stuff, at the beginning, we go through mindset. If your mindset ain't right, stop.
It starts with mindset. And
there's plenty of people out there. You know how we do it, how we work. They can't buy from you unless they can see you, and we on plenty of platforms. We
show you.
We show you. You know what I'm saying? Like, we here. So I don't need you. I would love to have you. Would love to help you. But if you're going to be, I don't want you to be that testimony that somebody be like, when he in Lee community and now he
busting and disgusting.
Fraud? Yeah, he on fraud charges and all this. Like, you see those. I mean, obviously we can't stop everything that happened. But again, I just try to educate from the beginning. Like you say, you got to have a plan. If you don't, I do real estate. I can help you there.
Yeah, we're going to take that.
But there is something else. Make sure you have a business plan. I had a cousin ask me this weekend, hey, man, you want to invest in my pressure washer? Do you have a business plan? Well,
type of money.
Yeah, we can watch X, Y. Man, it has to be rolled out. Like, nobody's going to invest in something that you're seeing. We got to see the numbers, because we probably going to do our homework on it. You know what I'm saying? And you just got to get in the habit of that, because it's just simple business. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And people take that as disrespect, and it's really
Correct.
It sucks, because I get that a lot too. Like, yo, P, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that. You're not trying to do shit. Right. Because I'm gonna be honest, bro. Just being honest, like, I believe in being surgical with what you really want to do. If you really want to do it, you'll have that shit mapped out so much where I can't even talk. I can't even. I ask you any question, you had to answer right for me.
Right.
If you surgical with this shit, you will be successful at this shit. Mm-hmm. Somebody will gladly invest in somebody that's surgical versus somebody that just. I mean, I think we can make it happen.
What do you have? What do you need for marketing? How are you going to get your business out there?
Correct.
How do you know that the market needs this? Who are you, helping? Who are you serving? What are you fixing?
Yeah, but
or is it
the
a
door
new thing, you know?
But the door game is a whole. That's an interesting method because
and that's funny.
that
you
makes
said
me.
that.
I'm gonna be honest, bro. I know real estate is one of the biggest things to help people become wealthy. I mean, in my personal field, I do content, I specialize in content. You know, that's my thing. I made a decent career out of it. But man, I never really cared too much about real estate, like at this level, because I'm like, I got too much investments going on over here. But when you said doors, I'm like, like that's kind of, it's a great way to look at it, and it's easier to. I'm not gonna say it's easier to manage, but it's easier to manage in my mind.
Yeah.
Because it's more income coming in for one property, if that makes sense. You don't want, you don't got to deal with a big portfolio.
Right, and think about it, like, so when you bought me property right now, I tell people I don't really like to do realtors because all they can think about is the commission. Because when they bring me stuff, I'm like, well, why didn't you buy it? That's the first question I ask. Why didn't you buy it? If you
To the realtor?
Yeah. And they're like, I ain't have my finances together, or I got my money tied up in something else.
But you don't even need to use your own money, though.
Yeah, that's the point.
0%
And they know what I do.
credit card.
You can see my getting where I'm going. And so it's just like, and most realtors, especially if you're talking to investors, you know the 1% rule. I gotta be able to rent that thing out for 1% of the purchase price. So if it's $100,000, gotta be able to rent it out for $1,000 because it's kind of changed a little bit because the interest rates are way higher than what it used to be.
Yeah.
But back in the day, speaking just for demonstration purposes, that it had to rent for $1,000, meaning that because my $95,000 was about $600 a month, $700 a month. So now I'm cash flowing $300. I don't even gotta see nothing. I already know that it's worth going deeper into.
Got you.
If it don't meet that, my mentor told me you can't make chicken salad out of chicken shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to keep the numbers. You feel me? Mm-hmm. And, like, this is what the car industry do. They tell you, get in, feel the wind blowing through your hair.
Yeah,
Smell the leather. Same thing with the house. Y'all, look how it is. Look at the marble floor.
Picture
you see
yourself
that?
in that tub.
That TV gonna stay in here. Digital Millionaire Club, you can have that picture too. You know what I'm saying? And matter of fact, the lights will be on for 3 days after you move in, and before you give you 3 days before you transfer it. So they build it up. They done forgot about the numbers. Mm-hmm. Right? Remember the numbers? I don't care what it got. If them numbers don't make sense and I can't rent it for that, walk away. Walk away. That's why I hate. That's why, again, my passion is about getting your credit fixed. These people walk in and go get these 2010 Chargers. Well, they probably didn't have it in 2010. But you know what I'm talking about? These old cars. Yeah. And they like, oh, I got approved. And I'm like, well, how much you paying a month for that little Toyota Camry? You know, $1,600 a month? Well, that's why.
Bro, I'm be honest.
29%.
We knew somebody that was paying, what? It was a $20,000 car. He was paying like almost $1,700 a month. And it's like, bro, what is going on?
Yeah.
So,
and they don't care, and they drag themselves off in there, and you know,
because you know what it is, they happy because they got the breeze.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? They feeling the leather. They turn on their little radio.
They ain't gotta catch the buzz. They can show off to their homies.
And I know we laughing, but it's really not funny because it's really rape.
Drives me nuts.
It's crazy.
Drives me absolutely. Again, this is why I'm in this space, and I'm willing to give it away for free.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like in my community, my free community, it's the ebook. The basis of credit. Why don't they teach us this in school? I told them everything they telling y'all, you might want to question, and the stuff that they're not telling you might want to look it up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, otherwise there's not going to be any workers. It's got to be someone picking up the bags.
Nobody ever
at the
told me how to
airport.
do my checkbook. They never told me about taxes. They know. I didn't know what interest was. I didn't know. Damn sure didn't know what compound interest is. And that changed my life. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Didn't know what a UIL was. Didn't know nothing about insurance. I can go on. Why?
Meant to be stuck in a rat race, man.
I've learned more out of college than I ever learned in college.
Facts.
That's crazy.
And I have multiple degrees, and
Me
I
too.
agree.
So when people ask me, should little Johnny go to school? Not if that Negro want to just be a PE
teacher.
If
you want to be a doctor, a nurse,
a lawyer or something, I need y'all to go to school. You go do your thing.
1000%.
So look,
anything else? Nope.
Where my camera right here? So basically, what we are saying is, so Lee has a community, right? And he give you the game for free. So what I'm saying is, what you would pay for in college. See, I went to a private school. I played football. God bless me with a size where I got in for free. But most people are not going to get that. So you need to join a community and have a mentor. Mentorship is the most important thing going forward in 2025, in my opinion.
For sure.
If you do not have a mentor, if you do not have somebody that can ask questions, if you do not have a community of people that are like-minded, you will fail, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Moving forward.
I wish I had the things that people have now. Like even YouTube University, I didn't have that. I had Oprah.
Right.
You know, that's where I learned. I learned on her show every day during school hours. I'm like, okay, I'm watching her. Then I would take school classes at night. But outside of that, no one's coming to save you. You have to figure it out.
Nobody's coming to save us. I actually said that on one of my posts. Nobody's coming to save us, bro.
No one.
You know, and that's just like, if you don't choose to pay for knowledge, you're gonna pay some kind of way. You're gonna pay.
Fast.
Choose who you want to pay, why you can, before you don't have that option, because you would never regret investing in yourself. That's one thing I say. I've never said, you know what, even if I really didn't get nothing out of the course, I did regret it. But it's like, it's part of the process.
Correct.
Because we waste so much money on so much dumb
it's like what
stuff.
you don't want to do to someone else moving forward, having your own community.
I now tell these parents, because I don't have kids, so I have to be careful. But I say, if I had kids, I'm not giving them everything I never had. I'm teaching them everything I didn't know, which is a lot of stuff. So I got a lot of teaching to do. And so that's why I treat my community like my kids. I treat my kids that I coach. It's funny, they'll watch this. You know what I'm saying? They watch everything I post, and they, you know, I wear the whole assets over liabilities. And I literally, you think it's a no-brainer? They don't know what that is. Again, why ain't they teaching that in school? My kids literally go, they may know one of them. They always probably know what a liability is, because we make jokes about don't be a liability, right?
Yeah.
You don't know what an asset is. You know, like, and I don't even make light of it. And I do now. I'll point when hey, what's an asset? Either they're excited to answer it or they cower down. And I go, I'll call somebody that I know who knows. Yeah, I call somebody I know, because I just know that little bit. I don't try to incorporate, like, I don't try to incorporate my faith and my work in what I do. However, if you ask, you gonna get it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So they know. Most people who know me, they know. I know within 5 minutes what's the most important thing in your life right away. I know this podcast is important to you, and I know y'all are important to each other. You know, I know within 5 minutes what's important to you, instantly. And so when people talk to me, I hope they know within the first 5 minutes what's important to me. I hope they know in my faith and them, in the sense of their financial literacy. Right? Because I know, I mean, the Bible talks more about money than it do about heaven and hell. So I think I might want to know a little bit about it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna know everything, but and plus, you know,
well,
if I can do it, anybody can do it. Cause I was the athlete.
That's how
you know what I'm saying? I tell people all the time. I went to Georgia. I was the athlete. So yeah, if I can do it, anybody can do this, man.
Anyone.
So speaking about what's important to you, what do you want to accomplish in the years to come? Like, what does the future look like for you?
Man, you know, so I kind of pivoted, not 100% from real estate, but I'm reverse engineering it. Meaning, like, you know, the digital space is golden right now, and the learning space. People want more.
No, people need
more. People want more. They need more. They're seeking more.
Yes, 100%.
They're definitely seeking, and like from a spiritual standpoint and from a monetary standpoint, right? Like I tell people, money ain't everything, but I'd rather cry in the Benz than a hoopty. You know what I'm saying? And so, I just know that, and so I was acquiring all this real estate. Guess who life it was changing? Mine. Guess what this digital space changes?
The world.
Theirs.
The world.
If they lock in with me, I don't make any guarantees, but I promise you, if you read what I've listed, you will walk away a little bit smarter than what you came to me. And you don't even have to pay me a dime. But I also know you'll get so much game and so much value that you'll come back. Because there's just so much to this. I'm still learning.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know everything, but I got started. And like I was saying earlier, what does success look like? What does it look like on the other side of risk? It's me sitting here on Digital Billionaires Club. That's what risk looks like. I wouldn't be sitting here if I hadn't took the risk. I wouldn't be in Miami on a Friday night.
Just popped off a jet.
Popping off a jet It because this is what the other side of risk look like, and not listening to all the naysayers.
So what do you say? What do you say to the people that's watching that might be on that cusp of like, man, I want to risk it, but I just don't know if it'll work for me. And what do you say to those people?
What do you got to lose?
You got more to win than to
It's
gain.
almost like if you take this chance, you better like if you don't, or if you did and you fail, you just stay right where you was at in the first place. What do you got to lose? You hop out here and you join. Don't even worry about my community.
Anyone.
Get a mentor. Get a mentor and see what you learn. If you don't even learn anything, what do you lose? You just right where you been the whole time anyway. But just if you were to learn something, you can move some mountains, man. You can change people's life. My greatest flex is retiring my mother, buying my brother a house when he retired out of the military.
That's amazing.
It's my that's my flex. I ain't knocking what people do, but that's my flex. Like I don't have a fancy car. I still drive my 2013 Honda Accord, and I got my 2008 Ford F-150 that I use for work. I still cut my own grass, bro. Can I have those things? Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
And so even with now, like I mean, I've invested over 6 figures in my business with digital already within the last 6 months. Why? Because that's what I believe in, and I know that would drive me to helping, blessing people, and getting all those dream material things that I desire. Cause I desire those things. I'm not knocking that. Don't get me wrong, but I just got my priorities are a little bit different. My desires a little different, and we just at different points in my life.
I think we should give the word flex a new definition, because I think flexing is not what you do for yourself, but what you do for others. Yeah. So when you flex, 100%. I want to hear the person that you help buy that Benz, or the person that you help, buy that house, or the person that you help change their life, right?
Sure.
That's to me ain't no greater flex in the motherfucking planet.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
That's what we do it for. One of my billionaire mentors told me, she said, P, we only here to give back and die. Mm-hmm. That's all we're here for. Everything in this life, from the water to the mind, everything was made by man to serve others. Mm-hmm. That's all we here for. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? So as long as we serving each other, bro, I think that's the most important shit.
You said it, boy, there. Like that brings me back to me being a blessing. I'm blessed to be a blessing. And people like, man, you just so lucky. Do you ever have bad days? Yeah, but I immediately think about all the things I'm grateful for. Like I always tell people, you feeling like you always just things are bad. When the last time have you stopped and just thank God or even wrote down what you're thankful for and all the things? I mean, man, my vision bad. I can hardly hear sometimes. I ain't the smartest. My back hurt right now. But I can go down. For everything I just told you, I got 20 things great. You know what I'm saying? I was able to hang out with 12 millionaires on a plane today. You know what I'm saying? I was able to meet you guys. I was able to just share my story with your audience and other people's audience, and with people on the street earlier. And I ain't even been here 10 hours yet. You know what I mean?
Crazy.
So I don't take that stuff for granted. I really don't. You know what I'm saying? We had a young lady couldn't even get on a plane early. You know what I'm saying? So I don't take things for granted when I have an opportunity to speak. So for me to sit here and brag on y'all like, oh, I'm so great. Look at me. You might want to sign up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would be doing you guys a disservice, be doing your audience a disservice, and I'll be doing, my creator a disservice, because they're like, man, look, all this stuff can be gone. Y'all know that.
Yeah. It really
I just buried a cousin last week. You know what I'm saying? My age. We went to school together. We played on the same team. Just like that.
That's why you also got to live, too.
Got to live.
Be about work, be about your business, but you got to learn to live.
Yeah.
But I think the only way you live, though, is like one of the things he do is he count the small wins. Yeah. Those small wins lead to the big wins. If you don't count the small wins, you're never going to have a big win.
That's right.
Because you won't fucking recognize it.
Yeah, because you're too caught up in all the other stuff.
That's a fact, bro. Damn, that man, I appreciate you. And I want to say, bro, I've been doing marketing for over 10 years, bro. I've been a director. I coach people what to say for a living, right? And the one thing that resonated with me the most, bro, what makes you so authentic, I'm telling you, it goes back to, he was like, man, I was scared. To me, that just it hit a different nerve because, you know, I always wanted to public speak, right? And I remember I was at an event and I saw a speaker that I really look up to, like as a speaker. I love when he speaks. He's dope as shit, and he was shaking. Somebody that I look up to is shaking before they go speak. Yeah. This motherfucker speaks in front of all these people all the time. Yeah. And I'm looking at him. I'm like, yo, why is he shaking? And for me, that was a moment of, damn, we all just people. Yeah. We all just regular people, bro. We all are trying to figure it out. Some of us a little bit further because of the knowledge that we were able to come across. Mm-hmm. But we are all just people trying to figure it out. And once we understand that, it's over.
You know, the funny thing I tell my kids, they get nervous for big races. Mm-hmm. I'm like, look, man, it's cool to be nervous. Just don't be scared. Right? Because in running, when you take out running, you can't be scared even when we run as kids from a dog.
Yeah.
You were scared at first, but when you took off, all that energy went to Pat and Tom. And so it's funny that you say that, and I can just be authentic and say that because like if you ain't nervous about the first time you've done something, I don't care if it's good, pleasure, satisfaction, or what. Something ain't right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
something ain't no thing over there.
Something ain't right.
You ready to scam some people?
Yeah, you did something for the first time that's exciting or whatever, or risky. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because like what I did, I mean, granted, I was protected in the deal and that, all right, if he didn't buy the damn thing, all I had to do is cancel the contract. But it was that nervous energy of being successful. I always knew I was supposed to be successful, but I was almost scared when it happened, would I be ready for it? I always pray to God. I always pray to God that don't bless me with nothing till I'm ready for it. I had a lot of buddies who made a lot of money at Georgia playing football and got that money early. I'm not saying they screwed up, but you couldn't have gave me the money they getting paid. NIL. Man, I'm 46 and I don't even know I got handle that money. You know what I'm saying?
I think everybody needs a moment to where they start making money to know what to do with it when they really hit big. Because however you are now, money is just going to amplify who you are and what you do. Correct. So you have
I was an idiot. That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah, he's going to be amplified.
Look, you know me and don't be mature till they after 35, 37.
I'm a giver. I'm like, what's your story here? Yeah. Here's some money. I always tell him, I was like, man, I'm not big. I need to get bigger. I need to be, bigger and more successful. Because for me, it's like I love to give and help people.
Look, I'm good. I was good before I started the digital product, but I knew to reach more people.
Yes.
Man, I mean, really, I'm having an epiphany now. Like, man, if I get on these podcasts, if I get on these interviews, if I get into my community when I go live every Sunday, and I don't keep it authentic and keep it real and give the glory to the Most High,
absolutely,
I'm tripping. Mm-hmm. I'm really tripping. Like, I'm not perfect by no means, but if I don't get on that thing, because I've seen what it's like. I've been there. Mm-hmm. I ain't going to the story how I grew up poor and all that. People care, but they don't care, and it's a part of my story, but it also made me who I am. Mm-hmm. That's why I appreciate stuff. People ask me why I eat all my food, because we couldn't leave before we finished eating.
That's a fact.
When I go to buffet, I don't put more food on there than I can eat. Right? Your eyes better not be bigger than your stomach. These are just these things my parents instilled in me growing up that I still hold value to. I think I was the only person who knew how to iron their clothes when I got to college.
Wow.
You know what my first win of the day is every day?
What is it?
Making my bed. Every single day. I make my bed.
Your family come from military at all?
Nope.
Nope. That was just instilled in you.
Well, my mom made it do. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's dope though.
Yeah, dope. We learned to fold clothes. We learned. I mean, I think about this stuff and I thought it was so stupid. Till I realized how many people don't know how to do these things. But then I also read that most millionaires, it's the first thing they do is make their beds. The first win. Then my second win is I go for my run. I mean, it's been a long day. I've been up since about 4:30. Been rolling. I've been playing like this. You sleep already? No, man. I'm up. I'm just relaxed. I put my head
meditating.
I'm in these first class feeling sick. What do you think I'm doing? You know what I mean? And so God is good, bro. He really is, man. I can't front. I'm nothing without him. You hear people say that, but I know this could be gone tomorrow. I truly know that.
Yeah.
Because I've had it all taken away, right? And it ain't a good feeling. You know what I'm saying? I hope the Lord trusts me more with it than without it.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And so I just want to be a good steward of the things that I've been instilled with, whether that's knowledge, resources, people. I like to connect people, like you were saying. I like to give, man. I get more out of giving. You
So
know what I'm saying? Like I'm not a
I
big,
love it.
yeah, I'm not a big tell you what I do for people, but I've given away more money than I've ever given away in my life.
So look, before we get out of here, I just want to know, give me a memorable moment when you gave to somebody and they gave you that feeling of like, man, this is what I do it for.
When I bought my mama a house.
How was that? Walk me through that day, or walk me through that when she found out.
It was Mother's Day, and the backstory to it is when we grew up, went through some hard times.
Okay.
My parents were together, got a house, bought it, built it, ground up. We lost it. I lost it probably when I was in probably 9th or 10th grade. And the people who bought it out of, I don't even know, I guess they got an auction. I was too young to really know how real estate worked back then.
Yeah.
But the people moved into it. They lived in that thing about 25 years and they passed away. And I think the other family didn't take care of it. And I was able to buy it back.
Wow.
I was able to buy it back.
And you bought back the original house.
Bought back the original house.
That's wow.
And I don't know
What a
why
blessing.
pink was a cool thing back in the day. Then when my father painted it, that was the first thing I changed.
That's funny.
First thing I changed. And I gave that house to my brother, because my mom had already had a house, which was her parents' house.
Okay.
And I was able to pay it off, you know, and buy that one. But my mom, she stayed in both of them. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So, like, I would have never thought I would have been able to do that. Again, this is one of these things where I could be driving the Lamborghini Urus.
Yeah.
But who they do? They only do me good. And I don't even go nowhere. I work from home.
Thanks, I got you.
You know, I'm
Yeah,
weird like that.
Yeah, no,
you know?
for sure.
But don't get me wrong, I still want it.
Yeah.
You know
but
what
you
I'm
want to
saying?
be able to give, and then I
Correct.
give for myself.
Correct. And I just don't think it's my time yet. I don't think the Lord. I just think He has more for me to do.
You have your purpose for right now.
Yeah. I truly think I have a purpose now. I mean, even with this product, I'm pointing. You know how it is when
Hell
you're trying to get a
yeah.
business off the ground.
100%.
That's why I'm not like. It don't faze me. Like
Yeah.
I can tell you, I'm gonna pay $200,000 for a house. That sounds like a really good deal. I don't care where you at in America. You put $200,000 in a marketing business, you already know what's gonna happen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Woo, especially if you know something.
If you know what you're doing,
Oh,
yeah.
what?
Yeah, and I'm partnering with some of the best in the business in this. And like I just feel like God wouldn't have brought me to it if He wasn't gonna bring me through it.
100%.
Whether that's bad, good, challenging, or whatnot, He brought me to this. And He brought people into my life that I would have never ran into. You think I would have thought I'd been sitting here with you tonight? I just was told 20 minutes ago I was sitting here with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I
Yeah.
can't make this stuff up.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's why when I talk to y'all, and I know it's standard stuff, hey man, what's up? How you doing, man? No, I'm really glad to be here. It's past my bedtime. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So when I say I'm glad to be here, I'm truly glad to be here because I would typically be in the bed because I get up at 5 in the morning, go through my routine, my quiet time, get my run in while everything's phone start blowing up. You know, and so and anybody that's crazy enough to sit here with me and listen to me talk for a while,
Facts.
they're all right with me. And
So look,
I
man,
gotta be real with you.
Tell the people where to
appreciate
find
it.
you. Tell them what your mentorship is in your community. Just give them where to go. real quick.
You can find me everywhere on Lee A. Patterson. I'm most active on Instagram, and I got my free community right there in the bio. About to start my 5-day challenge.
Okay.
And y'all know about that. Where I'm just gonna drop everything. I'm gonna have my boy Smitty come in there. He's gonna teach. I'm gonna teach on real estate. I'm gonna have my multifamily guy come in there. Probably gonna have my lawyer come in there. Just drop game. You know what I'm saying? And just show people what the other side of risk would look like if you would just dive in and commit to a process. And so if you come in, hop into my free community, get the game, and I never hear from you again, God bless you. If you come in there, if you want to take it to the next level, you can upgrade within the community to the VIP. So I get excited about every new person who comes in. I typically call them from my cell phone, which I probably need to stop doing that. But I just know that it connects with people easier when they see the blue check. You know, you call or you text them from something that there's a blue check. And so I just like to let people know that I'm real, man, and whatnot. But yeah, you can find me busy in the community. Find me busy on Instagram, and I've gotten it now. We're starting to link to all the other stuff, you know.
Yeah, you get it together now.
Yeah.
Welcome to the digital age.
Right. Yeah. So I try to be on point. I try to do everything in excellence, which is why I spend the bread. That's why I don't do stuff too fast. And you know, so you're gonna see your boy when I get my stuff together.
Yeah, for sure.
Because when things hit, I want things to be right, but I don't. Hope this is a lesson to a lot of people. You don't have to wait till everything's perfect to make money or to get your credit together. Right. You can start making moves right now. And so I even tell the parents, start working on your kids' credit, right? Because you know there's other races that know this very well. Yeah. And they go ahead and put those things in place so that when they graduate from college, they have credit established and they can get a car and a house easier and at the best interest rate, right? That's so a fact. Yeah, so that's what I got. So you guys, y'all can find me. I'm always busy. I'm always active, and I always typically respond. I run my own social media, so it's always me.
Okay. So look, I hope y'all know, like, if I was watching, I would fully take advantage of somebody that's kind of like I can still reach. You get what I'm saying? So I will hop in. I would definitely tap in for sure, because if you need, you know, the funding, if you want to, especially if you want to know about doors, or if you want to know what he just talked about, I need y'all to hop in, tune in right now. This is what you call a high level extraction. It's your boy Peter Parker.
And it's your girl Daydreams.
Dan, this was camera time, but it's all good. You know what I'm saying? And we out.